So Isaiah said his heart was full when he saw you were coming back. What was your reaction knowing another year of you two together there?
Yeah, I just know the potential that we have together and the chemistry like that we had off rip, and like being able to build on top of that is an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything. Especially like calling the guys on the O line my brothers and being able to lead through just what I've learned through all my years here. 'Cause I've been here so long, and just being a good role model for the guys coming up is just a good experience for me. And just Zay is one of the best players I played with, and to the right of me and just us together, I feel like we can put something special together too.
You said that chemistry happened early. Like, do you remember a moment that you were like, oh wait, this guy and I like might have something here?
I didn't even really meet him, I don't think, on his visit. But like when he got here, we were working. It just started off small, just like stuff like Zay's gonna do something extra, I'll do something extra. I'll do like 3 extra push-ups. Zay'll go do 4 extra push-ups. I'm doing 5 extra push-ups now. Stuff like that. Just like iron sharpens iron, you know what I'm saying? So just making each other better every day. And I guess we kind of bonded over that.
What was it kind of like then for you to come back? What was kind of that process like after the season?
It just took me to clear my mind kind of after the bowl game and just weigh all my options out. And initially I was thinking of just, declaring, but overall I just have a lot left to prove. And instead of, trying to fight for my spot at a, questionable pick or round, whatever, and I could come back and cement by showcasing the talent that I know I have and just getting the coaching that Coach Miller and Coach B are able to give to me. Just working with some of the best guys in the nation, especially, it was just like kind of a no-brainer once I really weighed the options out.
I know kind of talked about you and Isaiah being some of the older guys. I mean, you lose Pill and Palcho. I mean,
Right.
what's that transition like, and what are you kind of prioritizing when you go through?
It's always a transition whenever anybody leaves, just from house and build to bottom of the depth chart guys. But as far as the leadership void that's kind of there, I feel like the older guys, not even the older guys, just the experienced guys have done a great job stepping in and just coaching everybody up. That's what I really like to see. That's what I kind of preach is just, if you see something wrong, say something like, if you see my sets doing this, just tell me. I don't care if it's coming from whoever, just accountability, and because at the end of the day, we all just want to see each other be the best we can be.
I know consistency is something Coach Miller has talked about with you. How do you achieve that? Like, what's key in maybe keeping that going?
I would just say just hitting the tape a little harder. Kind of got to jump on it this year, just being a little more physically developed as an O-lineman. So I get to have the luxury of putting my energy into a lot of other areas, and such as just critiquing myself and just getting as good as I can, watching my set, just the little things, my stance, my get off, all of that, just hitting the film room.
I know there's a lot of moving parts on the line. You don't seem to be one of those,
Yeah.
left tackle. To have a position for it's like 18 months now, you've been a left tackle, which is
The most
longer than.
consistent position I've had in the university.
Yeah, how does that help you now with all that under your belt?
I think this is like the first time I'm gonna be back to back in a position. So for 2 years in a row. So hopefully that'll do something for my consistency.
To that follow-up, is there anything you take from having maybe the same dude, right next to you in Isaiah? Is there comfort there? Is there a confidence there?
Yeah, it's confidence 100% with all the guys coming back, all the returning players, just like knowing I got Zai on the right side of the line, holding it down. I got Jordan capable of doing so much, and I got Zay right next to me, and even the depth we have, just the comfortable, familiar faces. Just I know what these guys are capable of, and just when we get the chance to showcase it, I truly believe that.
Julian, when you were thinking about coming back, was there somebody at home that was kind of instrumental, or was it, or did everybody leave it alone? Or how'd that part work?
There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions, but
Of course.
I kind of, it's my decision. So,
Right.
And I took everybody's input, especially Coach B. Coach B had a lot to say. My mom had a lot to say, and just took everybody's input, kind of weighed my options out, and just came to the best decision I think I could have made.
When it came down to it, was it a pretty easy call for you? Or was it like, okay, I'm good, or were you hesitant about it?
I wouldn't really say hesitant. I just knew for a while I didn't have my mind fully made up, and I didn't want to make a decision without my mind being 100% made up, because
Gotcha.
then that's where regret creeps in, and I hate to live with that on my conscience. So.
There's a couple of redshirt sophomores. Coach Miller has mentioned, be it Josh or Zach or other Josh Geske. What have you seen from those guys? And what's the progression of being in the system 3 years and maybe being in that position to contribute?
Yeah, one of the best things about like O-line is just like you might not be able to make an impact as soon as you get here because it's just so much based on like developing your body, but just the growth that I've seen all of our younger guys make as far as their bodies and mentality, the way they approach like practice is insane. Just like any one of them, I wouldn't mind filling in, you know, for however long they need to or even starting, but it's going to come down to it. But a lot of growth has been showcased from all of them. I'm really proud of all of them.
I'm glad you don't have to play in games against Johnny and Keith. Are you glad you don't have to see? Yeah.
I'm glad I get to practice against Johnny and Keith.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't want anything else than to practice against the best in the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, iron sharpens iron.
How you guys were semifinalists, obviously, for the Joe Moore. Like, how much is there a driving, if at all, a driving fact to get closer to that or win it?
100%. I feel like just tasting the success last year, tasting like what it feels like to be ranked and in consideration for, you know, the playoffs and stuff like that early, just that makes you just so much hungrier to go get it. And being in the semifinalists for Joe Moore, like that's something we really couldn't grasp mentally before last season. Like we always wanted to be the best O-line in the nation, but like seeing that come out and just seeing how dominant we could be at times just makes us way more hungry. And I feel like it's way more attainable now, just given our mentalities.
So you talked to Bart and Coach Bielema. What kind of made you, I guess, trust them to give them this extra year to really just have another chance at developing?
That's a good question. Honestly, it was too much risk in the other decision, you know, and I was a lot more certain. I trust Coach B because Coach B has created and molded a lot of great linemen. Coach Miller's molded a lot of great linemen. They both like have the work to show for it. Coach Tank's done a great job with me since he's got here. If you've seen like the before and after, it's just insane. So I just trust them. I trust them to have my best interests, and that's really what helped me come to that decision.
How much? I mean, it seems like there's fewer guys. Like your early years, there was a lot of losing seasons. We talked about this a number of times. But as it starts to turn, like the tide turns to where it's maybe more winning seasons.
Right.
Like how much does that permeate through the locker room when there's just few of you who have experienced some of those downs?
I always like to be like, just don't forget where we came from. Like, because one time, I think it was raining, there was some thunder and lightning. We had to go inside to the indoor, and we walked past the old locker room. And I was like, y'all don't even know like what went on in here. It was just crazy thinking about it. Just the season that they had in there, just leading up to the success that we're seeing now. Just pray that we, you know, made it out for good and just keep putting the work in so we never go back.
The big question is, how do you get your basketball fix now?
I try to stay away from basketball, far away
No
from
video game basketball, just nothing.
2K. I definitely get some 2K. I'm a my career guy though. I'm not gonna play somebody, but I'm straight my career.
Watch the tournament now or not?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's your team. Care about it?
Just Illinois, but I mean, it is what it is.